Reg took the book Carrie offered. She felt a little thrill of excitement as she took it. Reg was not a reader, but she understood that this little volume was important. The apprentice's life had been important enough to keep a record. The things she was doing and learning from her mentor were important, just as the skills Reg was learning from Davin were. She was glad she didn't have to keep a written journal of their sessions. Writing was not her forte either. The book was warm in her hands, a little heavier than she expected. The leather had a fine grain. It felt luxurious to the touch. Reg opened the book and felt something like a sigh. She could understand why Carrie had been attracted to the book and had felt that she needed to get it. It did have a special aura. There was a name on the inside, but as Carrie had said, it was in old-fashioned handwriting and was very difficult to read. Reg could see the extended leg of the L in Laura. It wasn't beautiful and flowery like some writing, not like calligraphy, just the utilitarian writing of a young person, a novice. Reg flipped pages, looked over the lines of written words, mixed in with shorter lines that contained numbers and diagrams, and were, she assumed, recipes and visual representations of the spell she was working on. "This is pretty old," she commented. "Most books like this were either hidden away by families or destroyed by witch hunters. You probably don't see them at auction very often." "No, you don't," Carrie agreed. Reg ran light fingers over the warm pages. She knew she should not do that. Corbin would yell at her for getting the oils from her skin on the pages. Old books had to be handled with gloves to prevent those oils from aging the pages earlier and ruining everything they touched. "This is a really nice book," she found herself saying, even though she would never read something like that or buy it for herself. "What do you think?" Carrie asked. "Can you tell me whether it's haunted or something? And if it is there anything you can do to fix it so that I can have it without it making noise and wandering around the house? I'm afraid it has a mind of its own and will do something more than that someday." Reg chuckled. "Like what? I don't think a book is going to murder you in your sleep." Carrie let out a bleat of laughter. "Yeah, well, no, I guess not. But you hear about dark objects that can do things. I don't want to assume that it is just an innocent little logbook and then it does something dangerous." Reg nodded. She closed the book. "I think it's probably just some residual energy left over from the previous owner of the book. It probably just needs some rebalancing. I can do a cleansing ceremony and see if that will set it straight." "Do you think so? It's something you can take care of?" "Yes, it doesn't sound like anything too serious. It isn't keeping you awake or making you sick. You haven't been having visions, just little disturbances. I don't think it'll be hard to get rid of that." "That would be great," Carrie gave a sigh of relief. "Can I leave it with you then? And you can take all the time you need to make sure it's all fixed." Reg probably only needed a few minutes to balance